You ever make a decision that feels like a steal, but deep down, you know it's going to cost you way more than you bargained for? That's how I felt when I bought this rundown ranch out in Willow Creek, Montana, for a single buck, yeah. $1. Like I was buying a candy bar. The guy selling it, Eli Tanner, showed up at my doorstep at dawn, looking like he hadn't slept since the Clinton administration. Hands shaking, eyes wild, practically begging me to take the deed. Muttering something about how I shouldn't poke around too much in the land's history, some secrets, he said, are better left buried. Now, I'm Jake Harlan, just a regular guy trying to start fresh after a messy divorce, looking for some peace and quiet on a piece of land I could call my own. That morning, Eli's words sent a chill through me, but I figured he was just some eccentric drifter, maybe running from a bad debt or a worse marriage. I mean, 2,000 acres for $1. You don't say no to that, even if the guy's acting like he's being chased by ghosts. So I took the deed, handed him a crumpled bill, and watched him vanish into the morning fog like he was never there. Fast forward 3 months. I'm out in the West Field, wrestling with a rusty old plow, when it hits something hard, real hard. I dig down, expecting a rock, but instead, I uncover this ancient, half-rotted chest, covered in weird carvings that don't look like anything I've ever seen. Inside, there's bones, human bones, brittle and gray, and tucked in the skeletal grip is a letter, sealed with wax, addressed to someone named Abigail Reed, written in this shaky, old-timey script that feels like it's whispering straight out of a grave. My hands are trembling as I crack the seal, and I swear I can feel Eli's warning crawling up my spine to dig too deep. Jake. The letter's from someone named Clara, dated exactly 200 years ago, and it's a gut punch. My dearest Abigail, it starts, if you're reading this, the truth I died to protect has finally come to light. Your father wasn't a thief, they murdered him. Called it justice, but it was a lie to cover their greed. The words hit like a freight train. It talks about a conspiracy, powerful men, names like Judge Callahan, Sheriff Vance, and Land Baron Holt, who framed Abigail's father for stealing gold that was rightfully his. Payment for work they didn't want anyone knowing about. They buried him out here, unmarked, to keep their secret safe. But Clara hid proof under a twisted cottonwood tree on the northern ridge. Proof that could ruin them all. I'm standing there, heart pounding, when I think of Sarah Reed, the woman I've been chatting up at the general store in town. She's got this quiet way about her, always dodging questions about her family's past, like she's carrying a weight she doesn't want to share. Could she be Abigail's kin? Before I can think it through, I hear hoofs fast, heavy, coming my way. I shove the letter in my jacket and kick dirt over the bones just as Sheriff Roy Dalton rides up, his face hard as granite, eyes locked on the churned-up earth. Digging up trouble. Harlan, he says, hand resting on his holster. Casual but loaded with menace. Heard you've been poking around out here, find anything worth talking about? I play it cool, muttering something about clearing rocks for grazing. But Dalton's not buying it. His gaze lingers on the dirt, those dark stains that sure as hell ain't from roots. This land's got a funny way of eating folks who ask too many questions. he says, voice low, like he's daring me to push back. Accidents happen. You know, the permanent kind. He rides off, leaving me with the letter burning a hole in my chest and a sinking feeling that I've stumbled into something way bigger than a cheap ranch. That night, I ride into town, the letter tucked in my saddlebag, determined to find Sarah. The store's closing when I get there, and she's stacking cans, her hands steady but her eyes tired, like she's been running from something her whole life. Jake, didn't expect you, she says, forcing a smile. But I catch the flicker of worry when I mention the ranch's history. I lean in, voice low. What if I found proof someone was framed for a crime they didn't commit, murdered by folks who still run this town? Her face goes pale, hands shaking. She locks the door, voice barely a whisper. My great-great-grandpa was hanged for stealing gold he never touched. My family's been spit on for generations because of it. Before I can show her the letter, a shadow moves outside expensive boots. Fancy coat, not some ranch hand. Sarah freezes. They're listening, she whispers, eyes wide with fear. They know we're talking. I grab her hand, and we slip out the back just as heavy boots hit the front porch. 3 men, moving like they've done this before, circle the store. We make it to my horse and ride hard for the ranch, the night swallowing us. But I can feel eyes in the dark, watching, waiting. We head straight for the northern ridge, where that cottonwood tree split clean in half by lightning looms like a ghost in the moonlight. We dig like our lives depend on it, which they probably do, and Sarah's shovel hits metal. It's a small iron box, stuffed with papers, deeds, confessions, a ledger spelling out a conspiracy that makes my blood run cold. Callahan, Vance, Holt, they didn't just frame one man. They built an empire on stolen land, murdered anyone who found gold, and their descendants, including Dalton, are still running the show. One entry stops me dead. Harlan Ranch purchase subject to be eliminated after evidence uncovered. Eli didn't sell me the ranch to escape, he was setting me up to die. Hooves thunder in the distance, 6 riders. Maybe more. Closing in fast. Sarah clutches the papers, her voice shaking. What now? Jake. I grab her hand, pulling her toward the woods. We run, and we pray these papers can burn their whole damn empire down. We crash through the brush, Dalton's voice barking orders behind us. Find them before they hit town. We duck into a narrow ravine I'd scouted when I first bought the place, hiding behind jagged rocks, the papers pressed between us. Sarah points to a map in the ledger, showing gold deposits across the county, every major ranch, every mine, built on blood. Then she finds a letter from Clara, her great-great-grandma, who saw her husband hanged and hid these papers, along with a fortune in gold, in a cave behind Blackthorn Falls. The falls are a half-mile away, and we make a break for it, bullets snapping past us as Dalton's men close in. We reach the falls, slipping through a curtain of water into a tunnel carved into the rock. My oil lamp flickers, lighting up stacks of gold sacks and more skeletons, dozens of prospectors, murdered and left to rot. Sarah's voice breaks. They didn't just steal the gold, they executed anyone who knew. The ledgers got recent entries to land deals, payoffs, murders, all within the last 5 years. This isn't history. It's a living, breathing machine of greed. Dalton's voice echoes from the tunnel entrance. End of the line. Harlan, you've served your purpose. He steps into the cave with 4 men. Lanterns casting shadows over the bones. His face smug, like he's done this 100 times. Impressive, ain't it? 2 centuries of cleaning up messes. Every fool who found this place thought they'd be the hero. I keep my voice steady, heart hammering. You slipped up, Dalton. I didn't come alone. His smirk falters as I pull a folded paper from my jacket, not Clara's letter, but one I wrote. Before we left the ranch, I sent copies of everything, every name, every Kermito, the state governor. Courier's already on his way. Kill us, and you're done by dawn. Sarah jumps in, voice sharp. Callahan, Vance, Holt, their kids are in that ledger, too. It's over, Dalton. His men shift, nervous, and I push harder. Eli Tanner's been at my place, spilling everything, your orders, the fake sales, the murders. He's ready to sing to the feds if I don't make it back. It's a half-lie. Eli's long gone, but Dalton's sweating now, his gun wavering. You're bluffing, he snarls, but I see the crack in his armor. Maybe, I say, but you can't risk it. Let us go, or your whole world burns. He hesitates, and that's our window. We back toward a second tunnel Clara's map showed, one Dalton doesn't know about. His curses bounce off the walls, but he doesn't follow. 3 days later, we're in the state capitol, handing over every scrap of evidence. The story explodes. Callahan's son shoots himself rather than face trial. Vance's heir gets nabbed at the border with stolen gold, and Dalton's caught trying to blow up the cave. The gold goes back to families like Sarah's, who've been shunned for generations. My ranch becomes a memorial, those bones finally laid to rest with names on their graves. 6 months later, I'm standing in a small church, watching Sarah walk down the aisle, her smile brighter than any gold we found. The pews are packed with folks whose families were wronged, their pride restored after 200 years. That ranch I bought for $1. It didn't give me wealth, it gave me truth, and a woman who fought beside me to make things right. But here's the thing, some folks in town still whisper that we stirred up too much trouble, that exposing the past hurt innocent people tied to those old families. Was it worth it? Tearing down a town's foundation to right a wrong? I think so. But I want to hear from you. What would you have done? Drop a comment. Share your take. And if this story hit you hard, give it a like and subscribe for more tales where truth fights to break free.